How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, make sure to do me a huge favor and go down and subscribe so we can get to 75,000 subscribers. Today's video, we're going to talk about my 2007 Lexus IS250, everything that's wrong with the car. Because yes, there are things that do not work, and there are things that have not worked ever since I've owned the car. I'm going to tell you guys what's wrong with it and potentially what I can do to fix them, or if anyone knows on some of the things, what I can do to kind of fix the car and make it work right, let me know. So for the people that are new here, this is my 2007 IS250. I bought it with about 60,000 miles on it last August. Pretty clean car overall, but has a little bit of mileage on it, I guess, from the years. Take a look at the car. Fire it up. So that is one of the issues it's having. If you guys are seeing how high it revs up, I think it's just a characteristic of this car that the cold startup is super high. The car does need an oil change, but it kind of settles down after a while. And it's not like a throttle body reset type thing, because when it's warm, it does idle under 1,000 RPM, but it does take a while to get to operating temperature. I'm not sure if it's a faulty gauge or what it is, because I mean, you can drive it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes even, and the car still won't display full heat. I think it's just the gauge is a little behind, but that is one of the issues that this car is having. It has a little bit of a rough start, cold start. It takes a while to warm up. Again, reading on it a little bit, that's something a lot of these cars do apparently, so I'm not too worried about that. Other than a rough cold startup and not liking to being started in the cold, there's no other mechanical issues other than the transmission is a little bit clunky. But I think the transmission just being clunky, one has to do with transmission oil. I think getting a oil changed out after 65,000 miles and over 12 years at this point is a little bit mandatory, so it'll definitely make it ride a little smoother. But I also just think that the 07 back then, just transmissions were just a little bit like that. So that's all the mechanical stuff, but I have a little bit of a Christmas tree on my dash, and there's also a couple other things in this car that don't work. So what are they? Let me show you. Number one, let's talk about the emergency light that I have on my dash, as well as the Tpms sensor light. So I don't have Tpms sensors in my tires. I got rid of the originals and they're sitting on the side, and I have aftermarket wheels and tires on my car. So I do not have Tpms sensors on my wheels right now, which is the reason there's that light, and that light. All three of the lights are due to not having Tpms sensors. At one point it will be fixed. That is an issue that I caused. That is my fault for that being there, and not any fault of the car. When I made a video where I was like, this car's an awesome car for the price, is all the technology that it has. Now that can be good and it can be bad, because things like the memory seats on both sides are really cool when they work, but when they don't work and don't do anything, it's not very helpful. You can't set a memory position in this car. It's beeping right now, but sometimes it doesn't even beep. Like, the mirrors are moving around a little bit, but like, I can't set a new position. I can't save any of the positions in the seat. I'm not sure whether that is like something I'm doing wrong. I don't think it is, because sometimes this stuff just doesn't even work, right? Like, this button doesn't work, no beep on this one does, but sometimes it's not beeping. It just, for some reason, decides to work sometimes and doesn't work sometimes. So basically this is useless. And then coming over to the passenger side, these two don't even do anything. This one does beep, but if I move the seat back, there's no like set memory position. It's not gonna move it back forward. It just beeps. And then even if you try holding set and then clicking 1, and then if I move the seat, let's move it quite a bit forward, and then click the 1, it doesn't remember the seat position. I might be using the memory seats wrong, but there are times when it doesn't work at all. So I know there's a problem with it, because I would have figured it out eventually, but the thing is, it doesn't work. Like, even when it's saying it's beeping and stuff, half the time, or more than half the time, I'd say 75% of the time, it just will quit working on you. It won't beep. It won't even move the steering wheel like it did. It just does nothing. If anyone knows a solve to fixing whatever is going wrong with my memory seats, please let me know, because this is one of those things I have no idea why it's doing it. All right, next thing has to do with the air conditioning and the heat. So drove this car throughout winter, and the heat was working when I bought the car, and the heat worked into the beginning of winter. For some reason, halfway into winter, the car decided to occasionally start kicking on the air conditioning. So you'd be driving and it'd be blowing cold air on you for literally no reason. You can turn it up all you want. You can turn the air conditioning off from the screen. You can do whatever you want. The car will continue to blow cold air. So occasionally the heat will work, but other times the car will just be blowing cold air and you'll be sitting here freezing, already being in a cold car because it's 10 degrees outside. So that is one of the things that I have to look at. I'm not sure why it's doing it. I haven't looked into it at all, so I'm just assuming I think it's an electronical thing. All right, going to the next thing. So again, another electronical thing. None of these garage door buttons are working. The light illuminates, but I can't connect my garage door to the buttons. I tried resetting everything, resetting the car, resetting the garage unit itself, because maybe I thought there was too many remotes that were being used. So I tried resetting it and resetting it to this one, because otherwise I have to use this, but it doesn't work. The light goes on and it doesn't program. So I think that's pretty much everything that's broken on the inside, other than this one thing. So if we come over to this passenger side rear and we step inside the car, I'm probably gonna regret doing this in a second, but the car is unlocked and this door handle doesn't work. It feels like the mechanism inside isn't latched in anymore. I thought this worked when I bought it, but I might be wrong because I didn't really go into the back, but I think this door handle was working. So I think the mechanism on the inside kind of just like disconnected it from the handle somehow. I have to open the door up. I haven't done it because I always keep forgetting because it's in the rear and I don't sit back here, nor does anyone else. I've pointed this out before, but there's an exhaust tip there and the tip on this side actually fell off. So that's everything that's currently wrong with the car. A lot of electronic things, nothing too major, nothing serious that would make the car not work, right? Just a couple of the luxury features in the car and the door handle and the heat that aren't working for some reason, or are working on and off. When I bought the car, it needed new LED lights because the bulbs itself, the whole unit was kind of just fried. And it's old, you know, 12 years of having those LEDs. They burnt out and they would turn off when you're in the middle of driving. I'd have to turn the lights off and turn them back on, so I replaced those. So there's brand new bulbs in there. Another thing I forgot, and actually something I'm about to fix right now, is this strip came off. I showed this in a previous video. So it started peeling from here and I basically lifted it and the whole thing came off. So I just took it off because I didn't want it flying everywhere when I was driving. Like, as you guys can see, it's supposed to be like this and there's supposed to be this strip here. I have it on the side. Other than that, there's pretty much no issues. The lights were the biggest thing when I bought the car, and when I first took it out and drove it back during the night, I kind of had the issue a little bit, and then the next couple of days it became more prominent. But other than that, so far that's the only things that have gone wrong and are wrong with the car. I know there's some issues with, you know, the carbon buildup and all that in this car. I've seen these cars around 170,000 miles, 250,000 miles. Sure, the cars might at that point start having a little bit of carbon buildup, and you can clean out, you know, the throttle body and spray the car, and you can do a couple of things to either prevent it or help it out. There are things you can do before then, and plus they make it to the mileage, they make it to the high mileage. I'm seeing them in the high mileage all the time, which is why I'm pretty confident in this car to be able to keep getting to that higher mileage. Nothing too crazy. It needs some servicing though. I'm gonna get that transmission oil changed. It also needs an oil change. It's a little overdue. If you guys haven't missed the last couple videos, I did give you guys a little update into what was happening to the Mustang, the last one. Basically, right now, we're waiting for Ford to either tell us if I'm getting a new trans or if they're gonna replace my parts. So I find that out, that will probably be the next Mustang update video. It's probably not gonna be the next video because I don't know when it's gonna happen. Last video was a Bronco video. If you guys wanna know why I ordered a Bronco, you guys can go check that video out. Last video went to a car show, and also we checked out the Mustang. So if you guys wanna go check that video out, make sure you guys do so. It's finally a nice day. This video was supposed to go out yesterday, but it was raining and storming, and I said, It's gonna be sunny tomorrow. Today, finally have a nicer day so I can make this video and show you guys around the car. Otherwise, it'd just be a video in my garage. And, you know, the car looks better outside. I can, you know, move around a little bit easier. So I was just waiting. Still trying to upload every other day. Subscribe. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.